talk about this whole discussion about Jews, yeah? 2 minutes and we're just gonna start. Let me just get my notes together. It's working now on YouTube. Guys, the YouTube one is probably gonna go longer than this one. Yeah, this one is gonna time me out. It will time me out at about an hour. So if you're watching on here and it times me out after an hour, you can join us on our YouTube. Yeah.
That's what we do. Yeah. Took me a while, I was blind to the facts. Bullet points, read the small print, I couldn't relax. In the cell, crying tears with snots in my face. She gave it all away, everything we had was erased. I remember the phone call, I heard it in her voice, and everything that she didn't say, she made her choice. And I can't blame her, I betrayed her before with many other girls, cause love it wasn't there anymore. I lost my family, damn nearly lost myself. Chasing phantoms, road life got me living stealth. Took me a while to realize the damage I'd done. Fam, I was reckless, like a 10-year-old with a gun, and we were shining with the brilliance of the sun. But we didn't give it meaning, it was all for the fun. Niggas ended up in jail, though we had a good run. Out robbing niggas, beating on their heads like drums.
Yo, let me reload this tune for you guys.
So this music nowadays ain't got no social content, right? For real. Subliminal Records. Yo,
Shout
read
out
the
to Steph, Subliminal Records, yeah?
Read the small print, you know? That's what we do.
Right.
Yeah. Took me a while, I was blind to the facts. Bullet points, read the small print, I couldn't relax. In the cell, crying tears with snots in my face. She gave it all away, everything we had was erased. I remember the phone call, I heard it in her voice, and everything that she didn't say, she made her choice. And I can't blame her, I betrayed her before with many other girls, cause love it wasn't there anymore. I lost my family, damn nearly lost myself. Chasing phantoms, road life got me living stealth.
Shout out to Freddy Lover, Melinda, shout out to Zalaika, shout out to 80 AM, shout out to Mr. Goldie, shout out to Freddy Official, my G.
We had a good run, out robbing niggas, beating on their heads like drums. But now I see what's been pushing, but you're pushing on me. It took me a while, but now I see what's been pushing, but you're pushing on me. Don't even think niggas love you, fam, it's all in your head. Just to save your own skin, them man will left you for dead. Throw you under the bus, hold a gun up to your head and start reading out your future like the mystic man. I sit and smoke with my pain, reminisce on the past. I confide in my pain, we can't even have a laugh. My pain critical, it can even take your life. Literally, I ain't even acting, it ain't not a nice. Nowadays I learn to channel it, release and let go. It's not something that I can forget though. The system got us damaged from the birth, the get-go. 80s baby, consider me retro. So let us dance away the pain, long awaited. The most anticipated, the king, my shit is sacred. So let us dance away the pain, long awaited. The most anticipated, the king, my shit is sacred.
Right, I think we got enough people to start, yeah? Let me make the tune finish, yeah? Because Instagram can't censor me because it's my fucking music, yeah? Same to you, YouTube.
Took me a while, but now I see what's been pushing, what you're pushing on me. I don't know, I know what you're doing, what you're doing to me. My story written in the stars, if you can read. See, I'm the rapping at your root. Fam, you best take heed. You son of Sam, son of man, you fucking with Starseed. We ready for the war, give the devil and what they need. We fear nothing, we can make them bleed as we proceed. Power to the people, giving you what you need. Cause religion is deception, you don't need to believe. In any case, do not trap yourself in colours and creeds. Oh, please, we don't believe in your heaven and hell. We know the truth in ourselves, like as if you couldn't tell. Yeah, that's the reaper strong in the air that you can smell. See that dragon flying over you, it don't bode well. Break it down with a grinder, fluffing it out in the booth with the Bob Marley and Guinness style. My ability, confidence was never in doubt. Cause it's a Celestine prophecy rap, and yo, I'm out.
Alright, let's go. Let me stop playing. Let me stop playing with that Dragon Slayer mess. Because y'all ain't ready for this sound bending shit. We're about to put an end to rap. And we're about to introduce sound bending. Y'all ready for this soundbender shit? So let me put that on, yeah, and then we jump off. I like to have the on because it relaxes me, man. And where are we? Where's my YouTube? Okay, so I want the sacred yeah? Right. Yeah, so guys, if you got any questions about these Jews, I want you to slap them on the thread one time. Don't even wait for me. Just if it comes up in your head, like, yo, I want to know this about these lot, slap it on the thing. Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, it's even better because on YouTube, when you put a comment on there, it stays on there when I upload the video. If you guys put a comment on there before I upload the video and I haven't seen the comment, it might make sense to put the comment again after I've uploaded the video on Instagram. On YouTube, you're safe because it usually just stays there. But with Instagram, it's a bit weird. So yeah, there's a lot that's been said. There's a lot of emotion that's been flying around the place since Kanye West let off and went in on these. We're going to use the word Zionist to stop us from getting censored, yeah? So when he went on in these Zionists, it kind of, did I turn this off? Why did I turn this off for? It threw up a whole lot of emotions, not only for us as people on the ground on this level, but also for the execs, the I don't want to say custodians because they're not the custodians, but in human terms, they're like the custodians. They're like our gatekeepers. So all of these people on media are now going for Kanye West because he's let out too much in terms of what a celebrity's ever said about this Jewish stuff. Sorry, YouTube guys, I'm getting my head cut off and stuff. I've not even set you guys' camera properly. Yeah, bear with me 1 minute so that my head's not cut. Come. Nah, come. Do you want some of that thing?
Are you online?
Yeah, I'm online.
You're talking?
Yeah. Take it and bring it back if you want.
Is it up more?
Yeah. Can you guys hear that? What can I hear like that? Is it my... Oh, it's the laptop that sounds like that. It does that stupid sound, doesn't it? Right, you guys can hear that, yeah? YouTube, you can see me now, yeah? My head's not cut off like the headless horseman. Let me bring this one closer because it's better, yeah? So, yeah, I want to speak about this thing, man. So I'm going to say, who he, she, the deities who nothing exists except by way of he, she. When I say he, she, I'm not talking about no hermaphrodite. I'm talking about Anu, the Most High, in the male masculine side, and Antum, yeah, on the divine feminine side, okay? So we're not talking about no androgynous, like, hermaphrodite thing. We're talking about if we respect the God, we have to respect the goddess. So anytime I'm doing that, you might hear me just call Anu. But every time I say it, I mean on both sides. Because we ain't dealing with no man worship and we ain't dealing with no woman worship. We know that we need both divine, sacred masculine and divine feminine, and they go together. And when they combine together is when they spin into the wheel of life and things are created. So when I say, that means he, meaning he and she, the deities, Necheru, who nothing exists except by way of the deities. Muslims took that and say, Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah. You understand? That means nothing would exist except by the will of Allah. But they took that from us. So that's what it means when you see me holding up my fingers and paying my reverence, because we don't pray. Pray is something that predators prey on their victims. So we don't deal with no praying. We're dealing with the reverence. We give reverence to Mother Earth. We give reverence to the sun for the warmth that it gives us and the light that it gives us. We give reverence to the waters and the refreshment that it gives us. We give reverence to the land, the fact that we have something to walk on and lay on and build our houses on and stuff. And this is how we was as agnostics. We didn't believe in no fairy tale, man. So anyway, let's get into it. You know, she came and jacked my lighter and my ting's gone out, but I don't even care. I'm just going to jump into this ting, yeah? This is too loud still. So yeah, first, as I always do, I always take you guys back to the beginning. So we speak about these things in terms of a timeline, so you can get it into a sort of kind of a linear perspective. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I try and do my life. So it makes it easier for you guys when you're trying to reassemble the information that I'm giving you, because it's a lot of information. So if I didn't structure it this way and take bullet points and take myself to class before I do these lives, it could come across like I'm just babbling a whole bunch of stuff, and then it's too much. It just overwhelms. And even like this, it can still overwhelm. So it makes sense that we put it in this format. And when we speak about something, we go, okay, where does it start? How far back? And then we speak from the furthest part up into the now, up into 2K22. So other people do it their way, but that's the way I choose to do my lives, dealing with the information that I'm sharing with you guys. Yeah. So first and foremost, I want to talk about, oh, hold on 1 minute. I want to recommend this book to you guys because I've spoke about it quite a lot on my Instagram. Rest in peace, William Cooper, William or Bill, saying Bill Cooper, William Cooper. This is one of the most powerfulest books out there. Behold a Pale Horse. And they killed him for this. They X'd man out for this, kind of like the story of Phil Snyder. So you guys that really want to get into your research, make sure you track down a copy of this book here. Yeah, Behold a Pale Horse. There's different editions, so there might be an edition where the cover's different, but you want this one, trust me, because there's certain things now that he said in there that in the new editions they take it out, and a lot of the stuff that he says, like you see, I posted it on my wrong page. I posted it on my Jedefre page, one of them TikTok videos where this guy's speaking about these Jews and how they're not really Jews. Do you understand? He was giving a whole breakdown for about 6 minutes. It's on my Jedefre page, how these are not Jews. So the kind of stuff he was letting off in here to do with these fake Jews, Zionists, and to do with aliens, UFOs, the US industrial military complex, he was letting off some gems in this book. So I'm going to recommend this to you guys because of what we're speaking about. We're speaking about these GMOs. Let's call them GMOs, yeah? These GMO Jews, man. We're talking about them. And this guy, who is a Muzungu, he's a white guy. He's not a black guy trying to talk from a black perspective, because a lot of the time that's how these old media do it. Oh yeah, you black people, that's what you believe. But this is a white guy saying this, man. They killed the nigga for this. You understand? So I recommend that book there. Obviously, I recommend my own book, yeah, The Golden Child, because we started speaking about this. I'll read what it says on the back. This is a much needed perspective as the mental conflict carries on in these last days. Vital reading for the youths. And then it says, there has been an ongoing conflict between two different ideologies among the diaspora, so among just black people and ourselves. We have this discussion. Oh, I'm Egyptian. Oh, we're not Egyptians, we're Hebrews. Half is Hebrew, half is Egyptian. They don't go together. How does it go together? So I wrote this book to put it together for you guys. Those of us who call ourselves Hebrew Israelite, and those who call ourselves Cushites from the Nile Valley, or Kemetians, Africa, Tarmeri, Al-Kebulan. Why is there still animosity between us today, between these two camps in black? Why are we still arguing about these trivialities today? We're supposed to be further down the line. And this came out in 2K20, which I was calling the apocalypse, which is the apocalypse, the removal of the veil. The veil is down, and yet we are still arguing beliefs. How do we reconcile this? Let Jedefre Memnon, KKR 360, show you. So those books are the two books that I recommend for you guys based on what we're discussing here to keep this shit in perspective, right? Okay, Barkalum. So I'm going to take it back to the story of Jacob and link it with Canaan, because it plays into these lot story. So we know that if you've never heard about Jacob was a Dunakil scientist. We've spoke about Dunakils on previous other lives where I was telling you guys, there's beings that live in hollow earth, inside of the earth. And the beings that run the hollow earth, run Shambhala and Agartha, is a species called Dunakil. And they're a mixture between Greys and Rizkian, black Anunnakis, yeah? So they're black people with really big heads. Their heads look like, yeah? I'm not going to go into the details of that right now, but one of them who went rogue, yeah, and was cast out of hollow earth onto the surface here, he came up with a plan that he's going to graft his own race of people, an artificial race of people, and he's going to get revenge on his people who kicked him out of hollow earth. Because these people are going to be so messy, so reckless, nobody's going to be able to deal with them except him. That was his plan, right? So he went around Africa abducting people and grafting the blackest people to a lighter color, like copper reddish tone, to a yellowish tone, yeah, down into what we call in today Mzungu, or the deficiency of not having no melanin, because melanin is the most stable molecule in this entire physical creation. It's a molecule, and it's the most stable molecule. Maybe that's why they say out of all the races on the planet, black people are the ones who commit suicide the least. How it's the most stable molecule in existence, and I believe that it's 2 parts carbon and 1 part copper in its main ingredients as a molecule. 2 parts carbon and 1 part copper. There may be other stuff in there as well, but that's what makes up the, or what they call in graphene, artificial melanin, or black goo, or hydrogel. Same difference, same principle. Yeah. Even what they show you in the Black Panther films with the vibranium, when they make the carbon suit for him. In these pale people, Canaan was born in 4004 BC, which is 8,000 years ago, yeah, which will make it 6,000 BC, and then add on 800 years. So it's near 7,000 BC, yeah, that Jacob did this to finish the experiment for him in Greece, what they was calling at the time Ashkenaz. And I will show you these things. I should have grabbed my Ashkenaz. But we'll come back to the story of Jacob later. I just wanted to say that before I lace you with it. Turn into your Bible to Genesis, the Hamites, yeah, and everyone else. He's going to be a slave to his brothers. He's cursed. What? They never tell you what this curse is in the Bible. They stop talking about him after that. Talking about throughout the whole of Leviticus is what we're calling albinism and leprosy, because it's talking about the hair in the skin, and if the hair's yellow and looking ropey, like lying down on the hair and that, which is Tamahu or Mzungu. Do you understand? Well, in the story of Elijah, when he healed someone, he had a servant with him. And when he healed this woman's son, it might have been the son was dead, and Elijah brought 90 friends. So he's gone back to the woman and said, yo, Elijah changed his mind and said he will have that thing that you said you're going to give him, you know, and rare, do you understand? And so when he came back to Elijah, the woman gave him the money in that, or whatever she was going to give him. I don't remember the exact details. Yeah, but and then every other time in the Bible, when a curse is mentioned, Shem and Japheth, which is a half truth again, yeah, when it's speaking about these lot, it tells you where they all settled after this flood. The floods come and fucked up Samaria, because Samaria is flatland, so it's called Abishanar in the Aramaic Hebrew, which means the flatlands. There's no mountains on it. The closest mountain is probably the mountain in Turkey, mountain to Africa. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so in Egypt, they put the K on there and say as Cam or Kem, which means black. During another son, he settled in Libya. Libya became known as Foot. Yeah. What's the other one? Shem settled in the Levant and Mesopotamia. So we're talking about Israel, Palestine, and it even tells you it's mountains because he had albinism, vertigo, and leprosy, all 3 of them. Do you understand what I'm saying? So he was sensitive to direct sunlight. He just could not be in the sun. He was like one of them Dundas, one of them albinos in Africa where, yo, them man were red hot and bun up in the sun. So he had to leave Africa. He couldn't settle in none of these regions near his brothers. He ran off to the Caucasus Mountains, or what we call the Russian steppes, around near the Black Sea and shit. Yeah, that region. He went into the Russian steppes. And when he went up there, he met people already living there. As I mentioned to you guys, Jacob and his experiment with grafting these subhumans, this race, yeah, of cave dwellers. So when Canaan went to the Caucasus Mountains now, he's met this weird man, this kind of man, or mankind, yeah. And when MP, that's why he looks like that. So we call him Canaan, the lowlander. His real name was Libana, yeah, which today is said as Lebanon, which means milky white mountains, yeah, because he was cursed, even though the Bible didn't tell it is. And this is where you hear the Nation of Islam's Elijah Muhammad and others like Dr. York will give this story. They've got a video on YouTube.